again, this is my first time ever trying on these new shorts, and I was like, damn, these are small. I wouldn't show my legs anymore. As if this prep wasn't hard enough. What is up, YouTube? Today is gonna be a bit of a different video, something I've wanted to do for a while. It's just gonna be from like start to finish a transformation of my last year's Olympia prep. It's, like I said, it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and being in quarantine, it's the perfect time to do it. And with prep potentially coming up soon, I figured it would kind of be good for me and interesting for you guys to kind of go through what I went through last year. We got to do it all again this year, so that's exciting, that's fun. So yeah, without further ado, gonna give you some behind the scenes and some never seen before footage of some progress photos that I sent to Ian and some stuff I took that I didn't really feel like posting because I thought I looked like shit, to be completely honest. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm just gonna be following along on my phone so I know the dates of the pictures. But so starting out May 16th, 17 weeks out. This is when I had to drive to Ohio, Cleveland to get surgery. I had a hernia that was really kind of bothering me a little bit, and it was just like, I didn't think I could get through prep without it, and I thought I had enough time. And in Canada, there's a huge waiting list for it, so I had to drive all the way to Cleveland and pay for it out of pocket for the surgery. And luckily, it was a doctor who was well known for quick recovery, so I was able to get back in the gym within like 2 weeks with really light weight. So that was definitely the beginning of like a bit of a stressor on me, being like, okay, I couldn't train hard because I had the hernia, and then I had to get surgery and take a few weeks off and then start prep. Not really where you want to be mentally or physically to start prep. So that was that, but it definitely could have been a lot worse, and I got through it, so no complaints. That was just the beginning of prep. Next picture is May 31st at 15 weeks out. As you can see, this was me after not really training for a few weeks, and I was trying to kind of keep my calories high so I wouldn't lose muscle, and my body just kind of like, I still look pretty decent for like taking time off the gym, but not really good for starting a prep for Mr. Olympia. You can kind of see my belly button looks like bigger because it was still a little swollen, and like there's just a big hole-ish kind of because there's just surgery in there. So that's where kind of started things out at 15 weeks out. And this is when I started to do a little bit of cardio, and this is mainly outdoor, and training was still not at 100%, but I was slowly getting back there. As you can see by this one, this is just like a week later at 14 weeks out. My body's already looking like a little bit more full and a little tighter. And this is just because I was actually properly training again. And that's why I wasn't crazy stressed at the beginning of my prep, because I knew I was a bit behind, but the muscle maturity I have to get back there will be super quick once I'm able to train again. So this is how I jump back in like a week to here. Fast forward like 2.5 weeks later, I guess, June 23rd here, this is when I was able to put on like a little bit of size. And this is like how I wanted to start my prep. My legs were still a little behind because it was hard to push training legs, but my upper body has quickly been returning to where it was before the surgery and coming along nicely. All right, so this next one is a little clip that I posted on my YouTube. This was like the first beginning thing that I did post. This was at 11 weeks out and kind of like the starting point of prep. We had been on diet kind of for weeks before this, but it was kind of like, all right, let's get to 11 weeks out. Let's get to a place where you look good and you're ready to rock. And then we're gonna start pulling calories and really putting cardio in. So that's this point right here. As you can see, I'm pretty fucking full. I was eating a lot of food, and I had just gotten nice and thick, and training was like, I was motivated, feeling good, and it was getting me to a point where I was just really excited to be getting ready for this prep, because it was coming together kind of at the beginning. All right, so these shots are stuff I did not post before. This is just a week later, in waking up in the morning fasted after cardio, I believe, and very truthful, unflattering lighting, just sunlight beaming in. You can see I'm relatively lean, but my legs, hamstrings are just not at all there. There's not really much lines in them, but I got a decent amount of size and the shape's still there, so no complaint. Still just the beginning of prep. This was at 10 weeks out. Next clip, 1 week later. This is my first time really like practicing posing in a long time. And as you can see, still not really leaning out, but still holding on to a bunch of size. My midsection was kind of leaner than it was at the beginning, but still, this was just like probably, I think this was just 30 minutes a day of cardio and just a slight reduction in calories. All right, next video is at 16 weeks out. You can see I'm getting a little bit more cuts in my legs here. Things are just kind of slowly progressing as they should. This again, all these pictures in my condo are gonna be like flat in the morning fasted. So this is it slowly coming along. Okay, so this is kind of when things started to take a little bit of a turn for the worst. And this is the kind of stuff that I did not share with any of you guys kind of before now. And in that last video at 8 weeks out, you could see I was starting to get like a little bit of cuts in my legs, but that's when we started to kind of push a bit more and like up the cardio and reduce the calories. And my body was not really responding. My upper body was getting a little bit leaner, but my lower body was getting worse and worse by the day. So naturally I started to like stress and more and worry that what had happened last year with my kidneys and the edema in my legs was kind of coming back, and it was just going to be like a repeat, and that obviously the stress of that caused even more water retention, I'm sure, and just depleted energy, and I started to just kind of feel shitty and down. And so I ended up actually getting a new doctor who was a private doctor, which even with free healthcare I had to pay for this one just so they'd be on my ass a bit more. And we went and did a bunch of blood work and urine work, like a 24-hour urine collection and a bunch of stuff. And this is when I was genuinely like scared and stressed and alone in my condo and just like not really feeling good and not feeling comfortable even sharing it, because I didn't want to like put it out into the universe that it could be happening. I felt like if I spoke about it, it would be true, and if I hid it, it wouldn't, which is stupid. This never works, and if it's ever your health, deal with it. I'm learning this every single year. But yeah, so in this next video at 7 weeks out, you can see my upper body's getting a bit leaner. And even in my Instagram or my YouTube, you see I stopped posting anything with my legs. I wouldn't show my legs anymore. When I'm wearing shorts, I was like, oh, I'll do a little vacuum video for some content, but I wasn't willing to show my legs because I was so stressed about the water retention. My doctor was like telling me straight up, like, if this is happening again, like it could be bad, and you're gonna need to like prepare for the worst pretty much. And obviously hearing that from a doctor and just being already scared of it happening and going through what I had gone through the year before, it really fucking started to stress me out and put a toll on me. And this is when I like, my mind started shutting down and just going to like a fucking external, like outside of my body, and just like having no emotion, no thought, just like head down and just keep dieting, keep doing what you can. And it's definitely not a good feeling to get into that point in prep where you just shut off the whole world and you shut your body off. You feel like shit and just trying not to feel anything, because if you do, you'll be stressed out. So definitely not mentally healthy, but it was what I had to do to kind of keep pushing and get through this. Next video is at 6 weeks out. This is on my mom's birthday, actually. I'd gone up to my parents' cottage the weekend before this, I think, for my mom's birthday. And I remember being so tired at their cottage that I just had to like, I was there to help my dad move the dock in the water, and I did it for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. We like kind of got it done. And then I went and I crashed on their couch, and I had no energy. I had to go train that day and I felt like shit. I just had nothing in me. And I wanted to go see my parents and have like a little comfort, like familiarity out there, and I just didn't feel good. I was stressed, I was nervous, and I was bottling everything up and not talking about it with everyone. And it really wasn't a good time for me mentally or physically or anything. So I just remember lying on their couch just zombied out, having no energy, whether from stress or what my body was going through. And it was not a good time. So this again is at 6 weeks out. Clearly my upper body's starting to look pretty good, getting leaner, but again, I wasn't willing to take off my shorts and like see what my legs look like, because they were not looking good. And I was wearing high socks to hide any edema in my ankles or anything. And it wasn't like a lot of water, but it was enough to just that my legs just looked flat and little. It sucks the water out of the muscle and puts it like in a layer between the skin. So it just hides your lines and makes them look smaller, to be honest. So I'd really only been doing updates like once a week, but I'd been sent these shorts from Chula Fitness. It's my first time ever wearing the new shorts, and I think I had like a good day the day before. Something I woke up feeling a little leaner. You can see there's a little bit of lines in my legs there, and it definitely looks good. But if you know me and have seen me in like healthy preps in the past years, I have like deep cuts and big quads, and that's like kind of what my legs were known for, and it just wasn't like that. So while it looks good in this angle in this picture, I wasn't really happy with it at all. And again, this is my first time ever trying on these new shorts, and I was like, damn, these are small. I know this is when I had to be like, if I'm not shredded, my glutes aren't like dry and shredded, I'm gonna look like shit in these shorts because they don't hide anything like the ones did the year before. Here we are just a few days later. I kind of got coaxed into doing some posing in my gym here because I just hadn't before, and I was training with a buddy and like, yo, you gotta do it. So I was like, yeah, cool, like fuck it, let's do it pretty much. And so you can see clearly legs are just not lean. When I turn around you see my hamstrings, there's just like nothing going on there. Just look like full off-season legs, or my typical off-season legs. And I remember my buddy being like, yeah, you look good, man. And after the fact, when I told him what was going on and how stressed I was, he was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but like I was like, fuck, his legs look behind. From he knows what I typically look like too. And I'm prepping to be Mr. Olympia, and my legs are getting worse as I'm 5 weeks out from stepping on stage. So stress was probably increasing. My mind was shutting off more and more, just shutting everything out. And again, I was in my condo downtown, away from family and like alone, and it was not a good time for me like mentally at all. So sadly, I have no pictures for this, but as if this prep wasn't hard enough, I decided that I was feeling strong one day and I was feeling good, and that was very rare for me, especially on leg days. I was like, screw it. After my squats, let's do some straight leg deadlifts. I was doing 4 plates. It felt easy. I did a set of 10. Didn't even go to failure. I was like, fuck it, let's do another set. And on like the 8th or 9th rep of the second set at the same weight, boom, pop, my hamstring fucking tore. And I remember, oh man, I remember just having so much like rush of like fear, anxiety, and like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what's next right now? I'm driving home and I had to, it was my right foot, and I obviously drive with my right foot unless you're in the UK. And so I had to tuck this foot up behind me because I couldn't straighten my leg, and drive with my left foot on the gas and the brakes, which is very difficult if you've never tried it, but I couldn't even use my right foot to drive. And I was like, yo, I'm fucked. This is not fun. I remember I go home, I wrapped a little bit of ice on it, and I laid on the floor, and I put my leg up on the couch above me to elevate it. And I just remember lying there, and I didn't like bawl my eyes out, but I teared up a little bit and I cried, and I was just like, this means nothing. This is nothing. Like, everything else is worse. This doesn't make it worse. This is just, I don't know what I was trying to convince myself, but I was like, I can't put any more shit on my plate right now. So this just needs to be kind of forgotten about, pretend this didn't happen, and kind of suck it up in a way. So yeah, that was another interesting road bump in this year's Olympia prep. And it was pretty bad. I had to take a week off training legs, and then I was able to slowly get it feeling better through doing some biking. And then from there, it was just like no direct hamstring work anymore at like 4 weeks out, I guess. When I trained legs, I couldn't talk. When I trained at all, I couldn't talk to anyone anymore. I was like headphones in. I trained with Matt sometimes, but he didn't speak to me. We put the plates on and we just trained, and I was just like such a locked in zombie, just in like standing there like a psycho. Like, and I'm not like this. I'm always chill. I'm laughing. I'm having fun at the gym when I train, but I was not this prep. I really wasn't. So torn hamstring at 4 weeks out was the next speed bump in this journey. All right, so I actually finished this video, and it was a lot longer than I expected it to be. So I'm gonna be cutting it into 3 parts instead of 2. This is gonna be the end of part number 1. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, please like the video, or if you didn't, don't like the video. But part 2 is when things start to get real spicy and shit really starts to hit the fan. So please subscribe, get ready for the next video. Part 3 down in Vegas, also super hype. Anyone watching to the end here, I appreciate you guys for being along with me on this journey. You know, since if you were here since the prep, whatever, it was a wild ride, and it's been kind of fun to share with you guys, and it's helping me a lot kind of to dive back into what I went through and prepare to do it all again. So yeah, catch you in the next one.